Hi everybody, it's What's Her Motive and
What the motive?
yay guys. So I asked my partner to come on so that I can interview him about having a significant other with MS, basically a chronic disease. So yeah, can you tell our viewers more about yourself?
So my name is Melvin Lanapesi, also known as What the motive.
Is this a promo?
No, I'm 28 years old, working as a truck driver, and I'm also I'm giving some promo here right now. I also recently started my own company, my own moving company. So yeah, married to you. So basically that's it. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So let's just start with the first question. Can you remember your first reaction when you found out that I was diagnosed with MS?
Um. Yeah. At first I didn't know what it was. I knew it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't good news. So I thought, okay, this is something I need to look into,
Mm-hmm.
which I did. When I read everything, I was like, okay, this is some serious, serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I was kind of shocked, and at first I thought, why is this happening to us, and why is it happening to you?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like it's in some moments you don't wish it for yourself, but sometimes you think, well, I think, well, I rather carry it myself than see you carrying it.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
I could just imagine how much impact like that news made.
Yeah, made a lot of impact.
How did you react to the news? What went through you?
Well, I don't know if you remember it as well, but the first thing I said was, "You're not the sickness; you're just carrying it," and that was the first thing that was going through my mind to my to through everything. I was like, okay, you're not MS.
Mm-hmm.
You're carrying MS,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing that was going through my mind.
Well, I can remember that because there was so much going through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it was I don't think it's going to be MS. I don't think they're gonna find MS. But if they do, what will happen? And I was thinking about um, landing in a wheelchair and not being able to walk because I already experienced difficulties walking. And then you said that, and I was like, whoa, whoa, like. I had a feeling like whatever happens, we're going to be able to carry this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really helped. What quirky things did you notice about me before I got the initial diagnosis?
Well, sometimes you weren't able to walk for 10 or 15 minutes, and I remember a few years ago, before it got, well, to this point, I remember that one day you called me, and yeah, you were exercising outside. You were going for a jog, and I remember you calling me, telling me that I had to pick you up because you couldn't walk anymore. And at that time, I was still working in the army, so my mindset was like, girl, your body can do much more than you think you're able to.
Yeah.
And I was like, stel je niet zo aan. En ga gewoon.
Don't over exaggerate.
And just go. That was what I was saying in my mind. I didn't tell you,
No, you
on the
didn't.
phone.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick you up. And then I saw you sitting there and trying to walk towards me to my scooter,
Yeah.
which was difficult for you.
Yes.
And at that point, I was like, okay, something is wrong, but I think you're very tired, and like it's normal when you like exercise and you go full on, and then you get tired, and yeah, your legs don't work like they used to before. but
I call them spaghetti legs.
yeah, exactly. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. And I just, yeah, it happened, and I just let it go. And I didn't think about it anymore. And like only the few weeks, months before we got the diagnose, then I knew something was up, but I didn't know what.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, some unhandy things when you try to screw on the lid, it seems to be difficult for you. And for a normal person, it's very easy to do. You just see the bottle or the pan, or yeah, you put the lid on the bottle. And for you, it was sometimes difficult, but yeah, I thought you were just unhandy, but it wasn't.
You thought I was clumsy, huh?
Yeah.
I was clumsy myself, but apparently there was more going on.
There was more going on.
Yeah. And when you first heard the news, were you scared?
Not really, because I didn't know a lot about the sickness itself.
Mm-hmm.
But when I looked into it,
Yeah.
I got a bit scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you read all those things on internet about people with MS ending up in a wheelchair, or some colleagues of mine whose girlfriend or wife has MS, that it wasn't going very well, or they didn't have children, or they chose not to get children. So yeah, it freaked me out for a few weeks, months, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you've never seen that.
No. We actually never talked about it.
No. I didn't want to talk about it because, well, in that stage of our life, I didn't want to talk about it because the news was fresh, and we both needed to, well, accept it to a certain point. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. But I think now, in the stage of our lives now, we can talk about it easier, because we kind of not really accept. Yeah, accepting is not the right word, but I think we can live with it. Yeah.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
But that makes me wonder, what in particular were you most scared about?
Seeing you ending up in a wheelchair. That, and also maybe not having children. And I think the most thing that I'm scared about is that, in life we grow, but well, the most thing I'm scared about is that seeing you grow, mentally and spiritually, but seeing you downgrade physically. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm most scared about.
Yeah. I know this isn't easy for you, but thank you so much for being honest. And yeah. Oh, babe. Oh. How have you experienced me after I got my diagnosis?
At first you were stubborn, very stubborn, which I understand, because we as human beings, we don't like to hear bad news about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that whenever you hear something like that, you are like, no, I can't accept this because well, the doctors are telling you, yeah, you have MS, and yeah, I think what was going through your mind is that, or at least that was what I was seeing, is that you thought that you could do the same amount of work with the same amount of energy um, as before you got diagnosed and before you got all those issues, physical issues.
What did you notice about me?
Oh, you got cranked up a lot of times. You got sad a lot of times. You got angry a lot of times. Yeah, you weren't happy. And I'm not saying that you are right now with the sickness, but um, like I could see that you weren't happy. And what I noticed was um, that if I looked to you, you were thinking, why is this happening to me? And I understand that. Because when something bad happens to yourself, you always ask yourself, why is this happening to me? That's what I noticed when I was looking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hard period because I was basically mourning the loss of life the way I knew it, and all of a sudden my life had a whole new reality. Stuff was flashing by, career wise, family wise. Are we gonna get children or not? Yeah, my physical state, what is going to happen because I'm already experiencing difficulties. So how is it going to progress in the future? There was a lot of stuff going on, and I was just trying to get a grip of what was left. But in doing so, I tried to hold on to stuff the way they were without accepting that it's never going to be the same again. So it was challenging, very challenging. Yeah. Yeah. I was so lucky to have you. How did that make you feel? Seeing me struggle and not being myself, being depressed. How did that make you feel?
It was like I could do nothing. Sometimes it made me feel worthless, but it also got me energized. Well, not directly, but
indirectly.
Yeah, in a few, after a few months, maybe a year, till now, it got me energized to work for us, work for our future, build up a stable financial income.
Yeah. So after a while, you got motivated to make sure that our future was going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you are carrying the sickness, I wanted to make sure that we were financially stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really noticed that. You had so many plans, and I was like, how am I going to be able to keep up with all your plans and dealing with this sickness and life as it is? But yeah, you've really grown in that department, and basically all the things that you put in mind, you have accomplished those goals. So I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah. And for those of you watching my channel for the first time, I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2018. And the form of multiple sclerosis that I carry is remitting relapsing MS. How were you supported during the time that I got my first diagnosis and the month afterward?
How I got supported.
Yes.
Well, of course, my mom, my brothers, they supported me a lot. My dad didn't really know what the sickness was,
Mm-hmm.
so I tried to explain him multiple times, but I think he understands it now and he supports me as well. He asks often how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, some friends of mine, especially in the beginning, they asked me a lot how I was doing
Yeah.
and how you were doing. Um, my colleagues, like the ones who knew about your situation,
Yeah.
they ask, like every time when I see them, they're like, "Hey, so how are you doing?" or "How's your wife doing?" But at a certain point, nobody was asking how I was feeling. um, Only how you were doing, which is fine. But sometimes you need some mental support, and yeah, sometimes you just need someone that is asking you how you're doing with how you're dealing with the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you say when other people ask you about my MS and how does that make you feel?
Like most of the times, it makes me feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but sometimes it gives me, yeah, energy or motivation uh, to not forget what we are dealing with.
How has being with somebody who has MS impacted you?
In the beginning, it was hard. Um, didn't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, didn't want to accept it. Didn't want to live with it. Um, but like I said before, it got me motivated.
Yeah.
But it made me feel that I had to become a responsible husband.
You had to grow up real quick.
I had to grow up real quick. But I always say, and that's what I told you as well, it doesn't matter how our day looked like. It doesn't matter if we cried, or it doesn't matter if we maybe in the future or somewhere losing someone. Let's always laugh at least one time a day.
Yeah.
And growing up, being a responsible husband doesn't mean that we can make jokes, that we can't laugh. Yeah, it made me feel uh, that I have to overcome the world or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because do you remember I gave you the option to basically opt out if you didn't feel like being with somebody who had to carry the load of a chronic illness?
No.
No, as in you don't remember when I told you that?
No,
Or
I don't remember when you told me that.
because I can remember when I first got the diagnosis, I don't know if I told you in the hospital, but I told you that, hey, it's okay if you don't want to be with me anymore, then I can totally understand and we will just separate as friends. I gave you the option basically.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, you
Now it's too late. It's too late, people. We're married.
No, because I think the reason why I don't remember the question is because I never thought about it. Because I didn't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Because before we got married, we were dating for what, 6.5, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because of that. It's because I want to be with you, and
Aww.
like I, like I told you, you're not the sickness. You're just carrying the sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I don't remember the question at all. I didn't know, seriously.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
What are your hopes and dreams for our future?
My hopes and dreams for the future.
Yes.
Well, I hope that there will be a cure that will basically heal you directly, instantly, everything out of your body. And my dream would be, and also actually that's what I hope as well, is that you will never need a wheelchair at all.
Yeah.
Or you don't need to walk with a, what's that thing called, a rollator. That you never have to walk with that. That this, what you are walking with right now, with the stick.
Yes.
And your orthese.
Yeah,
orthesis is the only thing you need to walk for the rest of your life. And yeah, that's what I hope and dream and actually pray for. Yep.
Yes. How do you feel about having children?
I think it was a bit selfish a few years ago. Never told you that. This is the first time.
Oh, guys.
So the first, when you got diagnosed with MS, I was like, so probably you will never have children. And I was like, but I want to have children. I don't care if what's going to happen after that, you know. But yeah, I was really selfish. But you know, I thought about it a lot. I thought about it a lot. Prayed about it a lot. Talked about with one colleague specifically because he chose not to have children. But he's also already 67 and his wife is also 67, and 40 years ago there wasn't medical treatment for MS.
Yeah.
And so they chose not to have children, and he told me that these days it is possible, but you still have to talk with the doctor with it, and still they don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So at this point in my life I'm like, okay, your health is more important than my wishes for having children. So it's not wise to have children. Then I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. Because your health is for me more important than having children of our own.
At this moment, what concerns do you have when it comes to having children?
Maybe there is a possibility that you will end up in a wheelchair. That's one of my concerns. Or sounds hard. It sounds really hard, but are you going to survive the labor? If you are able to carry the baby for 9 months? Yeah, that are basically my concerns for now.
Yeah. So this is already the last question.
Oh.
What would you say to partners who have a significant other carrying a chronic illness or MS?
I would say help where you can help out. Motivate your spouse or your partner not to give up, and be there when they're sad, be there when they're happy, be there whenever he or she needs you, and talk with others about it.
I want to thank you so much for doing this interview, for being vulnerable and answering all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. But I want to thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you later.